All right, Chandler and Joey, Jay and Viru, Amar and Prem, and our guests for today. All of them have one thing in common. We associate them with friendship, the amazing bond that they share, and the memories that they have lived together. My name is Sanad Mishram, and I'm delighted to be your host for today for the second episode of our podcast series, Alumni Talkies, an initiative by Alumni Relations Team, SCMHRD. With us today from the 2013 batch is Mr. Suhas Kachu and Mr. Vipul Gugnani. Suhas has previously worked in various organizations like Snapdeal, Bilzar, and Magic Bricks, and now he's working with Paytm as a senior product manager. Vipul has previously worked in companies like EvalueServe, Fractal, and now he's working as a senior consultant at Deloitte. We welcome you with all our hearts, sir, and it will be great session. We're really looking forward for a really great session now. So, moving on, let's start with the questions without further ado. So, my question, the first question coming your way is tell us about your experience at SCMHRD and your memories that you associate with our college. So, Suhas, would you
Ye-
like to go ahead first?
Sure. Hi guys. Thank you for inviting us. And yeah, college was amazing. Good 2 years. Uh, Unbelievably fast and eventful, I would say. I joined SMHRD as a fresher, and hence I was into that student mode only. So
Okay.
that way I had a lot of learnings. Given I had people coming in from a lot of different backgrounds, different cultures, many of them had previous work ex, and which brought a good diversity to our batch and a good learning exposure for me. So I think one of the biggest learnings that you get from a college, from a B school, is getting together with a hell lot of people who come from diverse backgrounds, not only educationally but culturally.
Right,
Like
right.
you have a Mallu gang, you have a Tamil gang, you have a Guju gang. I had some of Guju friends as well, and that way I think it gives you that kind of exposure which is worth millions, I believe. uh, बाकी यार फन तो बहुत किया है कॉलेज में. लॉट
Right,
ऑफ
right.
एग्जाम्स. बहुत ही मतलब तब तो पेनफुल ही लगते थे. आज आज काफी इवेंटफुल लगते हैं कि काफी सारे एग्जाम हो जाते थे एक एक दिन में. एंड आई रियली सक्ड एट दोस, बिलीव मी. मैं बहुत ज्यादा पढ़ाई लिखाई में ज्यादा विश्वास रखता नहीं था, बिकॉज आई न्यू आई विल गेट थ्रू एनी वेज. तो पास होने लायक से अच्छे नंबर आ ही जाते थे, तो या आई यूज टू स्लीप. एंड व्हेन आई फेल्ट दैट आई एम इन ट्रबल, आई वुड गो टू विपुल, the friend, our dear friend on the podcast as well. And he was that rigorous guy who would spend hours and hours to study.
Oh,
And yeah, he probably the three pointer, right, people?
No, no, initially in the last like semester, I think it went down below three, but yeah, initially it was above three. Yeah.
हाँ, मतलब ये वो थ्री पॉइंटर टाइप का बंदा था. एंड आई वाज मोर ऑफ अ हैप्पी गो लकी गाय. And luckily for me, I had figured it out in the first semester itself that मतलब जितनी चाहिए उतनी पढ़ाई लिखाई उतने नंबर बहुत आसानी से आ जाएंगे. So rather focus on rest of the things and enjoy your college life as much as you can. And I feel you people should do the same. I mean, not ignore the studies, of course. GPA is important. But yeah,
right,
focus should be on enjoying your college life fully.
right, right. What would you like to add about that, Vipul?
Yes.
Anything that you would like to add?
Yeah. So the most important thing is that the experience that you get. So for studies, if you mug up and clear your exams, that's one thing. But at the end of the day, the learning that you get from your peers, that is the most important learning that you face in your corporate life. काम तो यार in
Right,
any
right.
corporate is anybody can do it. So you have to be intelligent, that's it. So काम and पढ़ाई का ज़्यादा correlation नहीं होता है, like everybody knows. But it's your attitude and the like bond that you can create with people that matters in the end. So the focus should be on all-round development rather than just bookish knowledge. So that's my take on that.
Wonderful,
Yeah,
wonderful.
each and every
That
student,
was a
would have certain conviction towards him or herself, that this is what you're good at, this is what I am good at. Never leave that conviction for somebody else कि यार इसके तो ये है, इसमें interest है. you know what kind of subjects you're really passionate about. There are subjects you really suck at, and which is absolutely okay. Focus on your strengths, focus on your conviction, and that conviction will take you places, believe me.
Right, right. Absolutely. That's the point. Determination and hard work, and like Vipul and Suhas mentioned, all-round development should be the focus as of yet. Wonderfully explained, sir. Moving on. So during your college days, so there's this time when you have to select the specialization. There's this pressure to, choose the specialization really wisely,
Yeah.
So how did you guys, decide your specialization respectively?
Okay.
What was your take on that?
Interesting question. So quite an interesting question. Okay. So for me, actually, I think I was very very clear. कि मेरे को तो marketing करनी है. And as I
Right,
told you कि I did not have any prior work ex. So मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा पता नहीं था what it meant to be marketing. For me, I was always passionate about advertising, and to me,
great, great.
marketing meant advertising, making ads, maybe in out of home or TVCs. What I was really passionate about. But when actually I was quite clear once I joined the college and before the college as well that it has to be sales marketing or marketing. But anyways, we have first 3 months. We had first 3 months to still decide. And SCMHRD typically being branded as a very pro HR college, HR friendly, because the placements were amazing, and I'm sure still are for HR and are for our batch. Even marketing placements were good in the end. Again, and I even went for one particular class in HR to see how things are. And given it becomes very easy for you to get carried away by the fact that placements बहुत अच्छी हैं, placement बहुत आसानी से हो जाती है comparatively in HR. But I think again, as I said, you need to have conviction in your own. But yeah, so I think for me, I was pretty clear for marketing. And after coming into college, having spent 1.5, 2 months when we actually had to finalize, probably the courses and whatever exposure I could gain in those one or couple of months was enough to understand that yeah, that's the way to be for me at least.
Right, right, right. That's very well explained, sir. I mean, it was all, connected, and
Hmm.
it was, like you mentioned, some really good decision making there. What about you, Vipul? How did
Yeah.
you come up?
So for me, I took
uh,
operations. So for me, so
Right.
I was very good at finance. Finance के जितने भी exams थे, I used to do very well in that. But the thing is that I had talked to a lot of people in the industry, and they told me that the finance life after doing MBA finance is very, very hectic. So I wanted to have a work-life balance also. So I was not just after money. So I wanted a balanced life. So that's why I eliminated finance, even though I was very, very good at finance. And then for marketing, the same thing that I did not want to do sales for 2 3 years. मेरे को लोगों ने बताया था they had to go to some villages for 2 years and couple of years. So I thought यार नहीं मेरे
Mhm.
को मतलब sales भी नहीं करना है. So I thought operations was by elimination, but it also interested me. But the other things were like ruled out, so that's why I boiled down to operations.
Wonderful, wonderful. That was also amazing, decision making that you made there. So that really, I'm sure that you made a great decision back then. Now, Suhas, like you mentioned that, you guys used to go to Vipul to get some acquaintance on some subject,
Yeah,
that anything that you need your help
yeah.
with. So Vipul was the go-to guy to,
One of the
to
go-to guys, of
clear your
course. I
concerns.
would say, yeah, one of the go-to guys, because we were not roommates. Probably his room was one or two rooms after mine. And
Okay.
मेरे रूम में हम थोड़े मतलब you can say थोड़े हम नालायक से ही थे. And पढ़ाई पे फोकस थोड़ा कम था. And one of my roommates also had a car, so he would take us for a ride many a days.
Oh,
And yeah, so that was fun. And I remember one particular incident wherein it was my birthday. And and we had an exam the next day. I remember OR1, and it was one of the dreaded subjects, believe me. And
right.
OR1 was dreaded subjects, and it was my birthday. So my roomie was like, अरे छोड़ो ये सब, ये है वो है, birthday है, चलो party करने चलते हैं. So we went for the party all night. And probably at 7 or 8 in the morning we had an exam, and we were hardly in a condition to write that exam. But anyways, we wrote that exam and we flunked. But thanks to people like Vipul and other friends of ours, and when then we cleared our exam at 4 points. So these are the things which matter. I mean, you need to live your life, enjoy your college life, at the same time maintain a balance. That even if you flunk, that's okay. it doesn't really matter. I flunked an OR1 exam, doesn't really matter in my life in the long term. I anyways cleared at 4 points. So yeah, there have been fun incidents and a lot of such things happening around.
Right, right, right. People, would you like to add something as to your experience to, teach your peers and, get your friends across the boundary? So how was that for you?
Yeah, so actually the thing is that for me, I wasn't a very studious guy initially when I did my engineering. So because
Right,
of that, I think I lost out on a couple of opportunities in some very big companies who were asking for like more than 75% in engineering, and I had some 73 or 74. So I missed that by a narrow mark. And so I always had that regret in mind that यार मेरा वहाँ हो जाता if I had studied a little bit more. So that's why I didn't want any
right,
such situation to come in like MBA. So I've always wanted to score high. So I had that conviction कि हाँ यार शुरू से पढ़ाई करनी है, we had to do this. So then, but I also never had this attitude कि यार किसी को help नहीं करना. I always thought that making friends and going along in life is much more important. So whenever anybody who had any issues with any subject, we used to then like I used to study in advance, and at the day of the exam, then those guys used to come to us, and then we used to teach them कि हाँ हाँ like these are the shortcuts and these are the important things that we can study together. So we
And I
used to
guess
help.
I would like to add one thing more to it. That is it is because of that safety net that one has, that you can go around on the night of the exam and still feel that it's okay. कोई ना कोई तो पढ़ाई देगा. You have couple of guys in your batch
right,
whom you can always fall back upon and who've got your back. And so that provides a
right,
lot of safety net. And even if I found it really didn't matter, because I knew the next day, the next time when I set for exam, you just pass it out with flying colors, big deal. So I think that's the life, that's the friend circle. You don't need 20-25 people to be your great friends. You need probably just 2 or 3 or 5, but the friendship should be such that it will remain lifelong. And in Vipul I found
right,
that
right.
friend, and there are a couple of other people as well.
Quality over
Absolutely,
quantity is what
absolutely,
one should.
any day.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that's really good. Good to know that the full was there for you again. So moving on. So moving on, talking about the changing world now. Since marketing and operations, these specializations are currently on the move, currently changing. So what skills should one possess currently? In order to be helpful for himself or herself to be in the long run. So what skills do you think are pertinent enough?
I think as far as I'll talk about my domain, which typically, let's say, marketing and otherwise, uh, don't uh, don't obsess about tools first of all. All right. मैं
Okay.
ये वाला tool, I have a lot of people reaching out to me and asking, some of us, our juniors or maybe from other colleges as well, कि मैं कौन सा tool सीख लूँ. I want to get into product management, GA सीख लूँ, कौन सा course कर लूँ. So think always from a perspective that what will gain you. Do you really think some certifications which is available online for free, or maybe at some maybe few thousand rupees, will fetch you gain a good job? And again, it's not just about a job, it should always be about a career, which direction you want to give your career.
Right.
So, for example, I joined Metro Cash and Carry from SCMHRD as a campus placement. But at the back of the mind, I
Right.
knew way back in 2013-14, I'm talking about, the whole e-commerce scenario, the internet company scenario was changing in India big time. So I always had that thing in my mind, that what's going on parallelly in the Indian economy, and this is going to be a big opportunity. And I jumped within 1.5 years to Snapdeal in the product domain. So I shifted
Right.
my career into business planning strategy, to more of hardcore product management. And since last 6 years, I'm into the product management domain only. So again, I think it was driven by my conviction and the market forces. I knew I would do good in this, so I joined the company early on, shifted the gear into a different domain, and stuck to that. And that decision so far, in the long term, I feel has bore good fruits for me, and it has been fruitful to me. So similarly, you have to choose your path very carefully, and choose a career, not a job. You need to see if you're picking up a job where where will it help you reach, maybe 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. You need to have a 5 to 10 year old goal.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you need to feel that you need to just evaluate whether that next job or next move is taking you a step forward in the direction which you had set for yourself as a goal for next 10 years or not. If not, then don't go. Just don't go because 10 other people are going. Don't do that. Have your belief in yourself, have your own strategy, and work hard towards it.
Absolutely, absolutely. You need to have your goals, your set targets in your mind, and
Yeah.
then
So,
move
for
accordingly.
example,
Very well said.
product management is still new. Not many colleges have placements directly out of colleges in India so far in product domain. So, if people from SCMHRD want to get into product domain, and you know that campus placements are not happening, so you need to develop certain skills for which a particular startup will at least shortlist you and consider you even for an interview, let alone hiring you. सो इट विल नेवर बी द अदर वे राउंड कि
Right.
सर हमें चांस दे दो तो हम प्रूव कर देंगे वो चांस मांगने के लिए देयर आर थाउजेंड अदर पीपल इन द मार्केट राइट सो फॉर ईच डोमेन दैट यू वांट टू
Absolutely.
pursue be it in HR sub HR itself has many domains HR BP recruitment PMS and maybe some other things as well so you need to figure it out for yourself कि marketing में मुझे sales में जाना है marketing में जाना है product management में जाना है product management has a bit of marketing bit of sales bit of IT everything put together then या operations में जाना है you need to have your calling and uh, just see जो लोग market में already हैं talk to your seniors or otherwise people in the market what are the kind of skills that they feel and as far as product management is concerned I believe people skills are very important cross functional skills are very important and
Right.
majorly if you see if you need to go far your soft skills and your EQ would take you any day far higher in the corporate ladder than your IQ and your GPA would ever and I'm dead sure about this
Right.
so
Right.
focus on the skills which are much it's very easier to say but cross functional domain expertise uh, how to write a good document these are very underrated skills getting things done in a corporate world at times can become very very challenging though you might one might argue that people are paid for doing their jobs but still it becomes a challenge in the corporate world those of you who have already worked in an organization would relate to this and hence getting things done in an amicable fashion is a skill that you must learn
Right.
networking is a skill that you must learn rest all which are tactical skills which are tactical in nature or some tools that you can always learn on the job so focus on the long term things. I
Absolutely.
mean, there is let's say probably a Java that is today, tomorrow there will be something else. You know, just to give you an example. But
Right.
a coder's mind does not change, right? If you're cooking on a gas stove or an induction doesn't matter. The cook matters. Not the ingredients will remain same, but the cooks would cook very differently with the same ingredients. So be a good cook.
Exactly.
That's what I want to say. Yeah.
No matter what the circumstances, no matter what the
Yeah.
resources you have.
Focus on the skills
Absolutely.
which will never change. You will always be required to be a good person in general, corporate or a personal or professional. You'll always be required to work in teams, always required. Good communication skills. Good communication skills is not English, by the way. Good communication skills is being able to communicate what you're trying to say and other person has understood or not. Again, a customer first focus, your audience focus, right? कि
Right.
जिसको मैं समझाना चाह रहा हूँ उसको समझ आया कि नहीं, you know so such kind of things and you can reach out to your respective seniors in the domain and see what is required what are the skills how their things are moving what kind of skills a b2b company requires versus a b2c company requires figure it out try to work on those skills
Right.
and then apply and obviously you get far better results in far shorter period of time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very, very well answered. I mean, word to word, it really resonates the truth about it. So, Vipul, would you like to also add on to this as to, what skills or what qualities or what cases should
Yeah, so
one
most of
possess?
the things have already been covered
Like,
by Suhas. So the most important thing that I would like to say is, say in the initial years after passing out from college, your technical skills might come in handy. But at the end of the day, when you
right,
rise up the corporate ladder, the most important thing, two things that I'd like to highlight that are important are one is people management and the other one is problem solving. So, so
right,
if you don't have those two skills, then you cannot go far in the corporate ladder. Even if you have all the technical skills, even if you are a brilliant person who can work alone, but if you do not have the ability to work in a team, work with people, manage people, and solve problems, then you won't be able to rise in your corporate life. So that those are the two most important skills that you must pick in MBA. Most of the people who are like getting a lot of good marks in college, but people look up to them. But at the end of the day, if they are not making friends, if they are not working in teams, then it would not take them places. People who can do contacting, who can do networking, who have a lot of friends. Because even if in a corporate job, once you rise above a position, even if you want to change your job, then referral is what helps you. So I'd say that you should focus
Right,
on
right.
all-round development, making friends, making networks, understanding how you can work with people. So that is the most important thing that will take you places.
Wonderful. Very well explained by, adding points like, overall development and, holistic approach should be there, always there. So, and networking, the
Yeah.
importance of networking.
So
So
Sanat,
that
that
is
is the
something that
reason probably
we
you have
folks
group
should
assignments in
definitely look.
college, you know. So there
Right,
will
right,
always
right,
be a guy
right.
who will work more than the other. It will never be the average input will not be same for all, you know. So that is the kind of skills that
Perfect.
you need
Yes,
to develop.
yes.
Maybe in a particular project, one particular person couldn't, somehow contribute much, but then probably he should expected to, chip in the next project, and so on and so forth. And even if he or she is not, then how do you deal with it? Apart from just crying about it and doing, you have to deal it
Right.
constructively. In college, it may not come so strongly, but in the corporate ladder, later on in your years, when you have 5, 10 years of experience post your MBA, these things will matter. As a leader, you cannot just leave out your weakest link or your people who are struggling in job. So taking people together and performing and giving your team the strength and conviction that you are there matters a lot, even if in the college life.
Absolutely. That is why, we are definitely given
Yes.
team tasks, team building activities are there, in order to, have a really good bonding and then make sure that we contribute to the task and we help each other. So that is the reason why, we've been given this. So definitely very well, added point by Suhas that we should look forward to this in the future. Also, about our current batch, moving about the current batch that we have. So our current batch, is different. It have we've never gone to the campus yet, and we haven't lived that life yet. And given the circumstances, what would your recommendations be to the current batch as of yet?
Okay. I guess your batch has not. Okay, you have not even met each other. Oh, that's tragic.
No, we haven't
Oh,
even met each other, so
that's
it's all
that's quite
virtual.
unfortunate.
So,
Unfortunate, honestly.
what would
But I hope genuinely that the college opens and you people meet each other, because I guess that will be difficult at least in your first year. I think the focus should be again on virtual meetings. At least whatever your sections have been divided, if at
right?
all have been divided, because actually it doesn't really matter in the virtual sense, in the virtual classrooms. But I think try to interact more with each other, even offline, just not with the class during the classes. Work more towards group assignments. Again, like we were discussing 2, 3 minutes back, the importance of group assignments probably is much more in your case than it was in ours, right? So you need to have group
Right,
assignments,
exactly.
tackle people, because it's not just for you. I mean, just imagine people, we have had people coming and joining our company during this period. So I am also right now working with a lot of people who I've never met in my life, in my office space, right? Personally. So that is a challenge that always
Right,
will be, and I guess it's kind of a blessing in disguise that you have this exposure in the college time itself, and it will probably help you in your corporate career, I assume, and I hope. Having said that, I guess try to build more offline conversations beyond the classroom. That is what is required. Try to replicate the offline presence. You all are graduates, right? That's why you come for an MBA. So the way you interacted with your friends and
right.
batchmates in an offline setting of a graduation college, just try to replicate that. Try to meet them over a cup of coffee, have 5, 10 people joining in, just have an informal chit chat. इस टीचर ने ऐसा बोला वैसा बोला यार, ये assignment ऐसा है, कल टेस्ट है. Have more of those interactions, and maybe in a larger group as well, have complete batch. I mean, probably some of the committees or probably the faculty can take initiatives of connecting the whole batch every 15, 20 days, so that you know each other. It shouldn't be like people in the same batch of around 200 shouldn't be knowing each other. There's no reason for it, especially the marketing guys. Uh,
Right, right,
they I mean, it's the whole game is you should be knowing you. Marketing guys should at least genuinely, I feel, should be more on the extrovert side, and you should genuinely be happy towards knowing and getting to know people more. And especially if some of you are interested in product management, I think user behaviors and studying user behaviors is the first thing that you'll be expected to do. So talk to people, think what are the changes that has brought into the technology space. For example, probably, if we try to have a business and see, read about the articles, you'll find a lot of McKinsey, Bain articles and papers on it, how things have changed. A mere Google search will tell you a lot, right? So it will help you understand, probably help you in
right, right,
interviews in
right,
summers as well. uh Baki, I think if at all you can have mini meetings in your respective cities, Delhi, Mumbai, just like we had alumni meetings. Probably if you can have informal meetings,
right.
and every Saturday, Sunday you can go out and meet a certain batchmates of yours. Please do it. Extremely important.
Absolutely. That is the reason why, the concept of peer learning is very important when it comes to an MBA, right?
And a genuine
So that is
genuine
what we need to
human
have a
interaction,
hands-on.
physical interaction, is cannot be replicated virtually, whatsoever we may say. Technology is just an enabler. I mean, it cannot be a
Right,
means in its own self, right? So yeah, please go and meet people, at least the ones who are in your own city.
right,
Get to know each other. You will see your team building is far more easier to do on a pint of beer than on an assignment discussion during a virtual meet. So go for it.
right, right, right. All right. Before we sum this up, before we wrap this up, Vipul, what are your views on this? How would you, what would you suggest to our current batch,
Yeah,
who is
so
all
it is
virtual as
really
of yet?
unfortunate that they did not get a chance to meet people. So for me, the reason of doing MBA was I wanted to relive that college life. So to being virtual is
Right,
just like being in a corporate world. So, but the thing is, what they should do is, I think, rather than only interacting within the classes, say if they are having a class and 200 people are on video, then they do not get to interact face to face with each other. Like there are 200 people, so they do not interact. So they can
right,
have small groups also. So group of five across different cities, and then I would always advise them to keep their
right,
video on, because even if you are seeing a face of somebody, that really helps to connect a lot, much better than being only on audio. So even like people sometimes get
right,
lazy at their home and they're not properly dressed and they avoid being on video. But I think that it's very important that if you are on video and then you interact face to face with people, then you get some
Yeah,
develop some kind of bond.
very nice point.
And then yeah, and then like they should keep on frequently change the group for each assignment, every, and they should be make different groups across different regions, because when you are in a college you have people from across the country, then you get to learn a lot about different regions, different cultures. That comes in handy, especially in marketing, as Suhas was telling. So because at the end of the day, if you're going in a field, you will get to interact with every kind of person. And if you, even if you're the physical
right.
meetings, as
Exactly.
Suhas said, that good that if you're meeting people in Delhi, if you're say in Delhi, you're meeting four people from Delhi, but then you are getting only a flavor from the same city. So it's good to have virtual meetings, small small group of meetings from across the country. So you'll get to learn a lot from that
Right.
also. So
Yeah,
that's the way we can go in this pandemic situation.
brilliant
But
idea. I
I
guess so. Vipul has given a very, very, very nice idea, and I
Absolutely.
think it ideally, if at all possible, you should always try to implement this.
Definitely. We would definitely, will be more than happy to try and execute these ideas that we've got from you both. And we'll definitely try to, communicate as much as possible given this virtual setup. So moving on to the conclusion of our episode, before we wrap this up, I would like you guys to, you folks to share one such memory other than, that you spent maybe on the campus or maybe hostel that still makes you laugh even today. So, would you like? So we'll just end with that
Uh,
point.
I guess for me, that one memory would be, I think, I remember in first year, first sem, so summer placements का time था, and HR and marketing placements were happening
Hmm.
earlier, and finance was supposed to have their companies coming in a little later. So classes चल रही थी, and finance people were, uh, attending the classes, and then we had an hourly or test, maybe during those days only. So marketing वालों के लिए एकदम काला अक्षर भैंस बराबर हो गया था,
Hmm.
with probably operations and HR guys as well. And the finance guys were anyways interested in the finance subjects, and they didn't have any placements to sit for, so all the time was dedicated to studies, and they just went ahead and wrote that exam, and rest of the guys were like, yaar ye ho kya raha hai, we couldn't even understand what's the questions. So I
Right.
remember that was kind of a mini, strike done, and I had there was one guy who just came shouting along with a group of 10, 15 people, like in a typical, political environment, hi, hi, and ये paper नहीं होगा, ये गलत हो रहा है, and and they literally barged into the exam hall, and it's like कि कोई भी marketing वाला paper नहीं लिखेगा, and that was fun because मुझे कुछ नहीं आता था, तो and I was so happy. Yes, I was waiting, मतलब this was God sent, he was God
Ex-
sent for me. एंड आई वाज लाइक ब्रिलियंट, मुझे कुछ नहीं आता था, मतलब हाँ हाँ सही कह रहा है ये लड़का, ये लो मेरा पेपर, मेरे को भी देना है, एंड द मोमेंट we that I'll probably never forget in my life, that was related to even exam, it was very very serious. The very next day we had a finance from prof coming in and saying, यार तुम लोगों ने तो गड़बड़ी कर दिया, पहले ही बता देते, मैं एग्जाम नहीं रखता एंड ऑल दैट, तुमने तो हद ही तुमने तो हाई हाई कर दी एंड स्ट्राइक कर दी एंड ऑल दैट. So
Okay.
that was something I've never seen before or after in my life, that kind of environment, and that was pure fun. And मतलब मैं मेरे को बचा लिया था उस दिन उस स्ट्राइक ने. I was almost getting a zero otherwise.
All right. All right. Vipul,
Yeah,
what about you? Tell me,
for
मतलब,
me, though,
one
the incident
instance you.
happened in a room only. So one of our roommates, he used to have a habit of walking around in sleep. So, and that
Oh,
when it used to happen when he was under a lot of stress. So the initial days in SCMHRD were
right.
really stressful. I don't know the current situation, but in our times there were FCQs. So we weren't even told that which exam you have, and you were supposed to study everything and go for an exam. तो आपके 14 subjects हैं, you are going into an exam not even knowing कि कौन से subject का paper होगा. Is it the same now, or has it changed?
Right. No,
Changed a lot. So
it's changed a
it
lot.
was,
It's changed a
so
lot.
in those days, like we were
Yeah.
supposed to study 13, 14 subjects. So then, like, he was under a lot of stress. So maybe he had studied a lot of marketing in the night. In the middle of the night, he woke up and he said, "यार survey लेना है." I said, "What are you saying?" And
Oh
we
God.
had the corner room, and he pointed towards Bala. I don't know if the like canteen is still run by the same guy. So the canteen was called Bala because it was run by somebody who was named Bala. He was pointing towards that Bala shop and he told, यार सर्वे
Okay.
लेना है, इससे सर्वे लेना है. मैंने कहा, अरे क्या हो गया उस पागल को. Then so there were a lot of, then like it was really scary also for us for the first time, but then we got used to it. But when we used to tell people, they used to think that we are exaggerating. But what happened is that during the summer placements, like uh, we went outside, but he got some summer placements in Pune only. So in Pune, he had different roommates during the
Okay.
summer internship, and he did the same thing with them. So then those people believed us that yes, this guy does sleepwalk. So it happened a few times with us only when he was
That
stressed,
was it.
but whenever he was cool, then he did not do that. Yeah,
But it
okay,
was a
okay.
scary
The
sight,
first time it was
nevertheless.
really
I mean,
scary. After
even
that, we got used to it.
it's
Okay. Yeah.
all right, all right. So we've reached to the end of our episode. It was really good having you folks, Suhas and Vipul. It was a really great session. You know, we really got to learn a lot as well, and at the same time, we really got to learn a lot about marketing and operations and what one needs to have, what one needs to possess, and also we got into we got a bit of idea as to how you guys, you guys, how you guys tackled all those assignments and deadlines and all those challenges and your memories as well. So it was a great session. Alumni Relations team, thank you very much for taking out your time and giving out to us and having this podcast, making really it
Thanks a
successful.
lot, Sanat. It
Thank you
was
so much,
wonderful
Suhas. Thank
having
you so much,
us on
Vipul.
this show.
And yes, definitely. So
Yep.
thank you so much for taking out time, and thank you so much for
Best
contributing to
wishes
this
to the
season
batch.
episode
Best
2.
wishes. And
So yeah,
our heartfelt hello to all our teachers who are there, to everybody, to the faculty. And yeah, best wishes. God bless you all. May you all get whatever you want in your life. And on that note, bye bye.
Okay.
all right, all right. So that was all from
Okay.
Suhas
Bye
and
bye.
Vipul
Best of
for
luck
this
and take
episode
care.
2. Stay tuned. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right.